Hi, Box Modders. Before we begin today, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Big P. Basardo thumbs up for donating to my my GoFundMe campaign that I got going on right now. I'll put a link down there in the comments and check it out. Basically, what it started out as was I'm going to do a video soon comparing the SX350J and the DNA 40 temperature control boards. A lot of people are like, hey, the SX350 is better, hey, the DNA 40 bed is better, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I don't really care. Because I don't use temperature controlled yet. I haven't had any mods that have used it, and I don't want to buy the boards because they're expensive. So I said, hey, you guys give me the boards, and I'll do the test. And they're like, hey, why don't you just do a fundraiser? And I'm like, hey, okay, I'll take your money. So anyway, it ended up being huge. I put like the goal is $200, and there's like over $1,000 in there now. So what I said from the beginning was I'll use the extra money for test equipment. I'm standing by that. Every extra penny you guys put into that is going towards bigger and better test equipment. Because what I'm working with now, in case you're not aware, I have the Tektronix 465 is great. It's really cool. It does a lot of great stuff. But it is an analog CRT scope. It takes up a lot of space. I have to calculate frequency and voltage by looking at it. And let me tell you how much fun that is. And then my multimeters. I don't have like a nice multimeter, and I'm not telling you this because I can't afford it. Like, I could go out and buy new test equipment. That's not the issue. But it's given you all an opportunity, if you want, to donate to make these videos better. Because it's just stuff that for whatever reason, it's not on my priority list to buy. So if you want these videos to be more detailed and better, then that's your chance to do that. And a lot of people just donated because they say, hey, Mike, you've done great stuff for the files and the group and whatever. So whatever your reason is, if you wanna throw some money my way, I'll put the information down there for that. And I appreciate every bit of it. I truly do. And keep rocking it. And you keep donating, whether you do or not. I'm gonna keep representing for you guys. Okay. So anyway, back to business. Vamo Board. So let's start from the beginning. This is the quote-unquote 55-watt Vamo Board, and I'll show you why there's big finger quotes here. So we're going to disconnect power. Power back on. It doesn't do anything when you power it on. Down here, got my battery voltage. These aren't fully charged Sammys. My Minkies are back here. We're going to use these in a minute. So if I click to turn it on, it doesn't turn on its own. Hello. Hello, human. Okay. OLED screen. Nice. It defaults to whatever you had it set at. So I've been playing with this in wattage mode, and so it defaults to wattage mode. Now, the big limitations of this board are as follows. It regulates. It does have its own form of automatic regulation, but it is within certain limits. It is within the duty cycle limits of the board. So imagine a 555 PWM. If you don't know what that is, then just ignore that I said that. And ignore the rest of this for a second. It's a 555 PWM that has a certain minimum duty cycle and a certain maximum duty cycle, but in between there, it tries to maintain a certain voltage. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I'm going to explain more throughout this video, and I have other videos that'll help you. So just stick around. By the way, Steel Reserve. Good stuff. Swill of choice for modders everywhere. Drink the reserve, you fucking perv. So, that's the thing about this. So basically what all that means is, bottom line, it will lie to you. It will lie to you on the bottom end, and it will lie to you on the top end. It will tell you that it's doing a certain wattage, it has a certain wattage setting, and it basically is not. The only way it's remotely truthful to you is in the amp rating. And this board, luckily enough, shows you the current that it's putting out. And to some extent, the current actually tells you what's going on with the board. And I'll show you that. Okay, so let's talk about so bottom end. This is not the true bottom end. This is actually below the bottom end, and the bottom end changes. This is where it gets tricky. The bottom end changes depending on the voltage of the batteries, because this thing has a minimum duty cycle that it can rock. So it's a 3, and when you turn it on, it changes. And this is the menu. I'm just going to go through the menu real quick. So you hold both up and down buttons, and it goes into the menu. So you press the up button to scroll through the menu, and press the down button to access whichever menu you want to do. So what I want to do is I want to go into the display back button, and I want to display current. So we got power, resistance, and current. So I want to display current. And I set it, and it goes away, and when I hit it again, 2.5 amps. Okay, 2.5 amps. In the testing I've done with these batteries and the Minkies are these are discharged. These are like almost discharged, by the way. They're like at 3 volts, if not a little lower. They are, or maybe a little higher. I don't know. We'll see. We'll check them out in a minute. So get that, and also want to note that the battery capacity meter on this thing says like completely full. When my batteries are at 7.6 volts. So you know, take that for what you will. I don't consider that particularly valid of a battery capacity when we know 7.6 volts isn't nearly full. Anyway, so moving on. So 2.5 amps or 2.3 amps. It's gonna jump. It jumps a little bit. So we turn it to 6. Okay, 2.5 amps. Now, and I'll show you this in the O-scope in a second. I have the scope hooked up. The duty cycle doesn't change. So let's take it up to 8. So now we're like 2.3, 2.6, 2.5, but it's kind of still jumping at that same point. And you see the battery capacity does a little bit of jumping. A lot of the readings on here are sketchy at best. This thing is $12 and something, and $12 and change. So you get what you pay for, and this is about as cheap as you can go for the wattage that it claims. And so yeah, whatever. By the way, this little guy right here is a 1.2 ohm coil. These will not fire below, I don't know. Somewhere between 1.2 and 0.7. Those are the two closest things that I have on hand. It could be 0.8. It could be fucking 1.1 where it cuts off. I don't know. Just understand these are not meant for you super sub-ohm bros. Sorry. Watch my ZMAX video. That's how you super sub-ohm bros can use one of these. Though I wouldn't suggest using this. Get a cheaper one. Anyway, moving on. So, 11 watts. Now, you see our current is going up. It is RMS current because, like we care that it's RMS versus mean. Thanks, guys. Really considerate about that. And now we're actually in an area that is at least remotely accurate. And I'll show you why. Okay, back into the menu, because the only way you can test the not that way. The resistance is to go into 4 and status measure. We can see the battery, and let's see where the battery's at. 7.5 volts. 7.5, 7.6, I'll take it. Close enough. Not that. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, the menu system sucks. Just throwing it out there. It reads 1.2 ohms. There you go. There's your 1.2. Got it. Good. Okay, so 1.2 ohms, and it's set at, let's see, 10 watts. Well, okay, our setting is 10 watts, so we say, okay, 2.8. 2.8. Got it. Okay. So 10 watts. So 2.8. How do we determine if the watts are correct? Well, we know it's a 1.2 amp coil. It claims it's at 2.8 amps. So amps squared times resistance is wattage. So 2.8 squared times 1.2 is 9.4. 9.4. And if you don't believe me, 9.4. Focus. There you go. 9.4 on my TI-68 badass calculator. Yo. Okay. So, not terribly accurate there, huh? And we're set at 10 watts. So let's go up to, I mean, you know, give or take, let's go to 15 watts and let's just see what it does. And notice it didn't change the amperage right there. And you have to hit it again, and like eventually it'll decide to change. And I know you're like, it's not crackling, Mike, what's going on? Hey guy, just hold on. It's at 12 watts and this thing is a 1.2 amp coil. So, and it's not like a 1.2 amp coil, it's a dual coil setup in this Addy, so it's going to take a minute. It's going to take some power to really heat it up. Okay, so it's set to 15 watts, 3.5, let's check. 3.5 squared times 1.2 is 14.7. Okay, that's acceptable. There's your 14.7. Not terrible. So, okay, so we'll call the middle section more or less good. Now, we'll go up to 25 watts. There you go. See, eventually, and you start seeing, well, you can't see it here. Let me pull it up just a little bit. You can start to see just a little wisp. There you go. There's a little snap, crackle, pop for you. That's what you like to see. 4.5. So 4.5 squared times 1.2 is 24.3. Instead of 25. Not too shabby. Okay, so you know, within a watt-ish. Not bad for like the really the cheapest board out there that claims anywhere close to 50 watts. So let's go up. Now let's go up a bit, and I want to show you. Let's see. No, I'm gonna go up higher. Now I'll show you all this in the O-scope later. I want to kind of get through this first, and then I'll kind of show you what the O-scope does. Okay, so there's a point where, okay, so we're at 5.6, and you notice this meter hasn't worked yet, and it will not until it gets a flat DC signal. No matter how close it is to flat, it's not going to work until it's actually flat. So I'm going to keep going, keep going. There we go. Okay, now, let me make sure I got juice in that bitch. Yeah. Okay, now, oh, not quite. There we go. 7 volts. Okay, 7 volts. So let's see. Now we have another point of verification. So its setting is, and you can't like look at the setting, you have to change it and then change it back, which is annoying. So 41 watts. 7 volts, so what is, how do we determine watts from volts and ohms? Let's see. 7 volts squared divided by 1.2 is 40.8, and it's set at 41, so that is pretty close. Well, that's not bad. Okay, so let's go 42. It's still 7 volts though. We changed the setting and it's still 7 volts. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 50. It's still 7 volts. I'm changing the setting and it's not changing. So we have hit our maximum, and you can tell you've hit your maximum right off the bat when an LED voltmeter works. When it normally doesn't work on PWM. So there you go. That's the limitation. So anything above 41 watts is no man's land. And with this set of batteries at this voltage, and the battery sag goes down to 7.1 volts, which is why it puts out about 7. Like I said, not unlike a 555 PWM, it relies on the battery voltage very much to determine what its maximum is. And if I had better, more fully charged batteries, the maximum would be closer to 55 watts. Would you ever hit 55 watts? I don't know. Fucking maybe. But 41 is not bad, I guess, for for not having any kind of boost circuit. And we'll see in the next video, this guy right here has a boost circuit, which well, it's not as great as it should be. But it does an okay job of changing to when we hit this point. Like this guy, it hits a wall. That's it. It can't do anything else. It hits a wall. And the current, well, the current actually does change, even though it really shouldn't. Yeah, the current changes when it shouldn't, because it's not putting anything else out. 55, that's it, yeah. But because our voltage doesn't change. If our voltage doesn't change and our resistance doesn't change, the current can't change, folks. It can't. It just doesn't work that way. Mr. Ohm in his law says that it cannot. So there. I got a nice new one that I'm going to buy here real soon when the money comes in from your donations. Your donations, folks. You're going to make these videos better. Okay, this is your hard-earned money making things better that you want to see. So keep that in mind. Anyway, okay, full power. We get all but a flat DC. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's just the slightest little spike. So we're going to take it down. 41 watts was our yeah, that was our limit. So 40.5. 40. You can't really see the difference. You can kind of see it there. There you go. And it jumps around a little bit too, because it is trying to adjust a little bit for the setting, but not a lot. And so its accuracy is okay in the middle. So we're at 38. I'm gonna go down to the middle so you can kind of see a difference. So it does okay. So here's 25. So there you go. Our duty cycle is a little bigger now, or actually a little smaller. The gap is bigger. The duty cycle is actually lower. Forgive me. Okay. So and we go down. You're not going to really be able to see this very well, but let's go to 10 watts real quick. Let's see. 10 watts. Now I want to just pay attention to the width of that pulse. I'm gonna go down to 3 watts. That's the lowest setting, by the way. Notice the pulse isn't that much narrower from 10 watts to 3 watts, and that's what I was talking about. Is this thing, it has a bottom end, and it depends on the batteries, but it's around 7 to 10 to 12 watts, where it's just not going to put it any lower. Now, it's not really a big deal, because not a lot of you are like screaming, hey man, I want to vape at 5 watts, and this thing isn't letting me. No one's really worried about that. But it's a thing, and I wanted you to know about it. 5-click on and off. You saw to get in the menu. You saw that the menu sucks because you had to hit the plus button to scroll through the menu items, and then hit the minus button to scroll through the settings in each option. Oh, it does not work with a single cell. So let's get that out of the way right now. It does not work with a single cell or parallel cells. If you don't know the difference between single and parallel, please stop watching this video and go learn some things before you watch my YouTube channel. Thank you. Anyway, so we're going to unplug, and we're plugging a single cell. You see how fancy that is? I got it. I got the hookup, son. You see in the corner 3.8 volts right there. So we hit it. 5, hello. System on, but low V, and that does not stand for low hanging vagina. It's low voltage, my friends, and yeah, no bueno. Okay, so as promised, we're going to show you what it looks like with the Stinky Minkies here. Get in there. Okay, so these are a little lower, and it's not just that they're more discharged; it's the fact that they sag more under load. And so, where are we at? Oh, I gotta turn it on again. Hello. System on, super de duper. So it goes back to 3 watts, just like it says there. So you have to go back into the menu. Oh, I didn't want to do that. This menu system sucks. I want to go here, and I want to display current. All right. So it goes away, and then okay. Now, yeah, 55. Not going to happen. You see, it says the same thing. And you got about 6.1 volts on the batteries and about 6 volts out. So about 1/10 of a volt gets lost through the regulator to the output. But let's see how far down we have to go before we start getting past that wall. So 38. It was 41 before. 38. We're still above the wall because we still see our meter. So let's go down to 30. Let's go 33. Wall. Let's try 28. Okay, so 30, 31, 32. Okay, so somewhere there you go, 31.5. So with lower batteries, with a lower battery voltage or lower supply voltage, you will get a lower limit to this thing. So now anything above, what did we say, 31.5 watts ain't going to happen on this board. So as your batteries discharge, your ceiling lowers on this thing. And that's a real issue. Because if you want to vape above 30 watts consistently, you're not going to do it with this board, bottom line. So, and let's see what the battery fill looks like. I mean, the battery fill looks like it says half, but shit, man, I'm at 6.8 volts. That's, to me, that's less than half. I mean, I'd actually like to put some more discharge cells in here and kind of see what they say, but I don't really have any that are like right at 6 volts, I don't think. I could look around and see, but I do. Anyway, that's about it. This board it kind of sucks. I mean, it works, but it's simple relatively for a Vamo board. But it doesn't do a lot, and for the end user, if you're not a modder, you don't understand really why it's doing what it's doing or why it's not doing what it's not doing. It's not a great choice. So I'll link it. You guys can go if you want it, man. Fucking go get it, man. But I wouldn't recommend it. P. Busardo thumbs down to this one, bro. But you know, it's got an OLED display and displays things, so take that for what it's worth. Until next time, read the fucking pen post, and I'll see you in the group.